Hey everybody, welcome to the Hard Truth Podcast. I'm Zach alongside
Janet.
and for the first time you are seeing us in person recording this episode. We just happen to both be at the same approximate location this weekend, so we said, heck, why not? Let's give people what they've been asking. So we are doing this for you guys. This is the 5th episode in our installment on the podcast, and today's title is Entitlement or just different. The truth about young workers in construction. And we're not really just going to focus on young people in construction because older people that have been in construction still have some entitlements. It's going to be pretty harsh, not going to lie to you. But it's information, like our shirts say, right? The Hard Truth Podcast. We're going to give it to you as soon as we can, and hopefully it'll help you out in the field. So we're going to have some talking points, and I'm going to let Janet kick it off and see what she goes with it.
Okay, so entitlement. A lot of these employees, the workers that we have out here, the younger generation tends to be a little bit more of the you owe me something just because of the way they were raised. The world's different than it was 20 years ago. And that causes a lot of misconceptions in their brains. And when they come out here in what we call the world, it's a shocker for them. They come out here thinking that they are entitled, that they should just get the raise without doing the work, that they don't have to go through all the steps that, us we have to go through.
Yeah.
We had to get through to get to where we are today.
I agree. These employees that come on site now, especially that younger generation, which this will focus on, she is right. The mentality is different, right? Like, so everybody that you see a lot of that come on job site, we'll focus on the younger because that's where we see it more than we do with the older, what we call older heads. And it's not a derogatory term. It's actually a compliment.
Yes.
Because they expect the same treatment as the guy that's been doing it for 20 plus years. Yeah, and the same pay scale. He's a real craftsman, right? Like he knows how to read print. He knows how to do everything. His supervisor should just give him marching orders, and that gets done. That's this younger generation. They show up a lot of times on a job site without a toolbox.
Yes,
right? But they want the same thing that their supervisor's making. Well, that's just not going to happen. And we both come from that era. I don't want to say old school, but it is kind of old school in our world that you had to earn your stripes. You didn't just show up as a green hand and you weren't going to work side by side with the guy that knew what he was doing. It just wasn't going to happen. You had to earn every tier of that ladder to get to that level to be considered a good hand. But everybody, I remember coming in, you started as a helper. It didn't matter what you knew. They could care less what you knew because you didn't know the company. You didn't know the supervision staff. They didn't know you. Right? Now, you could change that real quick. They're going to evaluate it consistently and go, okay, yeah, he is new, but we can tell, he knows what he's doing. So let's now put him into his trade or so on, so whatever it is, right? If he's an equipment operator, okay, we can tell he's an operator. He knows how to operate equipment. Let him have some more length of chain, as you could say. But, it's real easy to spot somebody come on somebody that wants a lot of money and wants all this and that, and you can't really do a whole lot. I mean, they'll spot that. We was talking about it this morning. A PM was talking about it, and I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. We could have countless supervisors come in here and go, yeah, we can notice within 5 minutes that you either do or you don't, right? So that entitlement of coming onto a job site or coming into the trades, and I don't know why it has happened. I don't know, because construction as a whole, it's a lot of the same. It's the same work, right? Even today, it's really not that different.
No.
You got toolboxes that show up on job sites. You unload the toolboxes. Everybody gets some marching orders. You got to get the parts. You do this and that, and then you go to work.
The steps are basically the same.
So what's changed?
It's it's the world we live in today.
Because
that's what it is.
I put it at this, okay? And like I said, this is going to be harsh, but it needs to be said. It all started with this crap with everybody's a winner, okay? I can't stand that.
It's a trophy.
I do not do that with my children. No, if you lost, you lost. That other person outworked you, right? And I think you're starting to see that transition to where more and more people are seeing that. Because in construction, we've always recently, I'd say the past decade, well, I say recent, but everybody's been told, well, teach them, let them, so they think they're obligated to these things.
Yes.
And it's not that case. No. You're going to earn it. I know where Janet and I are employed, you're going to earn it. You better show me that you can do what you're supposed to do. And we say that from an operations standpoint to what Janet and I do for a living, which is safety. There's an evaluation across the board. There's a grading system in a so to speak, is you're gonna have a get back on track though. Respect versus pay your dues. We've been talking about that. Just a few little side notes. A lot of younger workers walk into a job expecting to be treated like they matter day one, and I'm not saying you don't matter.
Yes.
Okay, because we take it very personally when you come onto a job site. We're responsible. Janet's responsible for, well, in her position, she's responsible for every job site, so it doesn't really matter. But you get what I'm saying. Like if she's working on a job site or I'm working on a job site, day one, you're just as important as the guy that we know personally, his kids, his mama, and all them.
Yeah.
You are just as important. We just have a better line of communication. You can't come through the door, thinking that you've earned it day one. Is what I'm getting at, right? You don't go to step 400 in a book, or let's say drawings. You don't go to page 400 from page. You don't jump from 1 to 400. You have to go 1, 2, 3. Numerically, you can't get to 400 unless you do 1 through 399. So it's not a disrespect thing. It's how respect is earned, and I think that's what's missing a lot. It is. These companies are so worried about keeping people, and I can understand that. 100%, I can understand that.
We all struggle with that.
Oh yeah, but come on, you got to earn it. That's the only way you're going to move anywhere in life. I don't care what job you do. You can either bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce, and then eventually you're going to realize that you're right back to the same job that you could have just stayed at and earned more, progressed, and you'd have been, instead of page 10, you'd have been at page 40. So it takes a lot to get there, but all that is earned. So they're not going to give you anything when you get to a job site. They don't just give you a paycheck. No. You got to put in time. Yes. Right? Janet has to put in time for hers. I have to put in time for mine. We're so dedicated about this information that I'm on site today, and this ain't even my site. So we really want you people to, ladies and gentlemen, to get this information and help your companies, your personal, the people that work beside you, pass this information on. Right? If you've got somebody that kind of has that mentality, like you can see it. I mean, let's be real. You can see it in them. I'm entitled to this, blah, blah, blah. I should be making what you make. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. No. Sorry. If that hurts your feelings, then we're doing our job. Yes. But if you've got somebody, on the other hand, that, let's say, recognizes their entitlement, preferably a young guy, that finally comes up to the job supervisor, his boss, or whatever, his foreman, and says, I listened to that episode that you told me about, and I kind of really feel that way. And I'd like to make a change. So, one, that's going to speak volumes. Yeah. That's going to be, I've never.
You have to recognize the problem before you can fix the problem. So, accountability.
So you get somebody to say that. I'm going to help them. We thought we was helping them before. We're really going to help them now. So, how do you approach it from that standpoint? So, you got somebody that kind of felt on that entitlement page. Now, he's come to you, Janet, as a boss, and said, you know what? I want to do better. I don't want to feel that entitlement. Yes. I've grown up that way. I don't want to do that. I want to earn it. Yes. What do I need to do to progress in the right path? As a manager, what would you say?
First thing I would say is listen. So less talk, more listening. That's one thing that I can tell when we have new hires come in through orientation. If they are like to hear themselves talk and are constantly talking, they're just talking to fill the gaps. They don't necessarily know what they're talking about. And you can cue on that. Like as a supervisor, even me in safety, I pick up on that. So listen more. That's step one. Just listen to what's being said around you. Typically your supervisors, I'm not going to say all supervisors, but the ones that I have, they're here to help you. As a manager, I'm here to help you. Even in operations, I'm here to help. We want to see you progress. We want to see you stay with the company forever. That's where we're investing money and time into you to do that. You have to be willing to invest in yourself and do the hard work on your end to take the knowledge that's being given to you and run with it, learn from it. So eager to learn.
That brings up on we do a kind of a script kind of concept if you haven't never seen it, but we do all this and put together show notes. So it's not uncommon. You just don't see it, but we don't care. We'll show you. So if you look at, point 2, it says the fast track mentality. That's kind of if you think it can actually go back kind of on the employer.
Yes.
Because all these guys are ever told is what? Not necessarily from us, but holding the money.
Yeah.
It's got to be done.
It's got to be done.
Get it done. Right? You show up to a job. We said this on the last podcast was, you show up to a job, you're already behind. I mean,
Yes.
and it's not just who we work for.
We always have deadlines. Every company has deadlines.
Every company has a deadline, so it's always go, 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 go. Right? So that's how they're pushed. So when they think they're a part of that, they want more. They expect more. You want me to do this? You want me to do that? You're going to have to pay me. Well, you ain't earned it. Well, no, that could go two ways. One, somebody has to see that you're doing the right thing. Somebody's got to see that you're worth that. And like I said, it's like a grading system, right? And in reality, I've worked for Janet, right? So you've heard of reviews. So every employee, doesn't matter what company you work for, I think that's pretty much across the board now.
For the most part.
Yeah, everybody gets a review. Yeah. Right? So I'll get a review from her, right? And you grade that. Now I'm an ace in the hole, so it's a little different, but I mean, some people just can't help it.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm joking. You gotta have fun with it.
He's harder on himself than I am.
I'm extremely hard. She makes me basically do my review and then submit it to her, and she goes, "Wow, that's pretty bad. You didn't even do any of that." The point is you get graded, and do you ever look at that post review, like when you get that grade? Do you ever? I know everybody's quick to go, well, they didn't give me a raise because I scored this and that. Did you read why you got that score? Because y'all have to give comments.
We have to give comments
of why you scored it. Though. Okay, so and they can get that comment. Okay, so we're clear on that. That's from the manager. So, do you ever get it back and do you read it?
Just look at the score.
I'll just look at the score. Read the comments.
You need to read the comments.
That is from your supervisor. So if you're reading it, it's pretty much like what we're trying to tell you here is read it and make the changes or have that conversation.
Yes.
Why did I score this on this?
And if you don't agree with it,
that's okay.
That's okay. Bring it to your manager and discuss that. Have that discussion.
That speaks volumes of accountability.
Yes.
And that also speaks volumes to say, okay, this guy does take his job seriously. So we just need to coach him on this, this, and this to get him to where he wants to be. Right. So all this plays into a role, and it plays into a factor of we need to do this because we can put him down this path because he wants to succeed.
Yes.
Or there's just guys out there that don't care.
Yes.
And then that's okay too. As long as they're doing their job and they're doing it safe, you really want to reach them because they probably do a really good job. They're probably really safe people on the job site. They probably really care. They're probably very punctual about being on time. I mean, it's just some of them
they're comfortable with their spot that they're in right now. Okay, yes.
They're content on what they're doing. So, and that's okay. Don't ever think that you have to, be the boss. That's not for everybody.
No.
I assure you.
No.
I don't want anything to do with her role.
And I don't want my bosses.
Heck no. We really don't want that. No. But, work-life balance, that plays into this. Younger workers aren't always willing to give up nights, weekends, and everything else for their job. Older heads, I mean, it lays it out here. That was the expectation. That's how you prove yourself.
Now, I will say, I'm going to interject here. It's not all the younger workers.
There you go.
You've got some that are phenomenal, that they want to make that money. They're going to be there every time you allow them to be there, even if it's past their fatigue days, whatever the case may be. You've got some that are phenomenal.
100%.
And you've got the flip side, the entitled side. That is, I'm not working weekends. I'm not doing that. You don't pay me enough for that.
Yeah. But those are the same ones that turn around.
Yes.
2 weeks later.
Exactly.
Okay.
So they only work the overtime.
You kind of see how that goes hand in hand. You got to give, right, to take. And if you're worth it, you'll never have a problem. You will never have a problem. And that is the harsh reality. Now, does that mean that they're soft? Not necessarily. That's such a hard term in this world because that just, I don't know if it's ego driven. A lot of it is anyway, but in this world, I mean, egos are huge, whether you want to admit it or you don't. It's just part of the game. But a lot of these guys that have big egos, I will say that some of them can back it up. And I don't mean that like from a negative point. I mean that from a positive. They know what they're doing.
The talent to back it up.
They will absolutely do the job. They don't care. So when they're trying to tell you something, they seem like they've got an ego, not because they know what they're doing.
Look at the whole picture.
Look at everything. Don't just look at, he's a dork. He's a joke. He doesn't listen. Probably not. That's the one I would really go after. That's the one I really want to get close to because he knows. And we know plenty of them. So, think about those aspects of it when you're on the job. Is don't just look at it as, it's an attack or, he's being a jerk. No, hold up. And look at it this way. He may be trying to see where your limit is. He may be trying to push to see where your
It
broken
is
point is.
construction.
That's right. And if you ever let a weakness in, you can't take it personal.
No.
These ladies and gentlemen, well, they'll thrive on that. They will push you to a breaking point, and when you find that crack in the hard hat, so to speak, excuse me, they're going to put a pry bar in it, and then they're going to wiggle it apart, and they're going to make it even deeper. So, make sure you're paying attention to it whenever you're on the job site, right? And know that a lot of times it is for growth, and it's constructive criticism. Safety and speaking up, that's another point. Young workers are way more likely to speak up about safety. This is a note. This is generic information. This is not how we feel. This is now we are fixing to give our opinion on this. But if you'd like to, go ahead.
So,
because I know you got a deep one.
I know that the employees that we have with us, that new and old employees that have worked with us, they do not mind coming to me with whatever problem. Some problems I don't want to hear about. They have nothing to do with my job, but I hear about it. So young and old, we do not have a problem with one speaking up more than the other. The younger generation, sometimes they're a little bit more intimidated, and if they don't understand it, they may be a little skittish about speaking up. But typically, we can break through their shell and get them to speak up about what their concerns are. We tell them, we have the site that we're on now, we have an orientation in-house with these people, and we tell them, if you've got a question, please ask, because there is no stupid question. And you hear that throughout your life, and you're like, okay, whatever. We mean it. So ask the question.
So this is an interesting note here. We're on the subject of safety and speaking up, which is here's how an old school would say it. And when we say old school, we mean old head. Their mentality is keep your head down and don't complain. Okay, that means do your job, don't ask any questions, and that's across the board. Right? It is your job to do the work. Your supervisor will tell you what needs to be done. Until then, you keep on the same pace. Whereas new school, or this newer generation that we're in, of construction workers, you'll hear something along the lines of, this doesn't look right. Two totally different answers there. Totally different answers. We've done it this way because it works.
Now, I've heard that a lot.
Oh, yeah. And it may. And I'm not saying that they've had anything go wrong, but the new school does ask the question, which is why a lot of times we like fresh eyes, even more than just us walking onto a job site, is I like somebody that doesn't have any clue about construction. I like to have somebody walk through a job site because they're real quick to ask a lot of questions that may bring up a concern that somebody else doesn't see.
Yes.
So both of these are actually correct. And how they've worded this is keep your head down, don't complain, which is very old school. This doesn't look right. You hear that a lot from the new people, which is, like I said, we're good with that. But you also there's a balance. Right? Your boss gives you something to do. Don't just sandbag on him and just ask questions. You know what to do. You know the marching orders. Now, if it's a legit safety concern, shut down, stop work authority, I get all that.
Yes.
But these guys can pick that out, is what I'm getting at. These old school people, they've seen pretty much everything on a job and dealt with every kind of person that, really comes to the job site. So they're very smart. And these newer people are getting smart too.
Yes.
Is they're learning to counteract that question, which is really weird. So it just works hand in hand. So the best thing I can tell you is to have some kind of accountability to your work ethic, right? When you come to work, you need to be there. I can't even say my time because that doesn't count. But, be there. You need to be at the game box at 10 minutes before that job starts, or be wherever the rally point is for the pre-shift meeting.
When it says work starts at 6, you need to be at your working station by 6.
Yeah, that doesn't mean signing JSAs. That don't mean doing work permits. That don't mean we're in the truck headed that way. No, you need to be at that print check, ready to go. That means all your safety stuff's on. Everything's ready to go. You start work at 6. You don't show up at 6. And let me tell you, if you can do that, you're going to go a long way. You'll get exactly what you want out of construction, because that shows a lot. To the PMs that we know, oh my God.
Attendance is huge.
Attendance is massive, right? Because there's that whole thing again, that whole accountability. And I'm owed this. No, you're not owed anything. None of us are. And I'm sitting right here right now doing this show. We ain't owed nothing. In an office trailer, running the jobs. There's a lot to it. They ain't owed nothing. We could be called off the job tomorrow. So we do our part because, one, we take it very seriously, but we knew what we wanted to go after in life. We knew what we wanted to get to. So we've started at the bottom and just keep progressing. And we still want to go up.
Yeah.
We're not as high as we want to be. Think about that whenever you are on your job sites and you're looking to improve and you want to change that about yourself. When it says reality check, older generation is right about some things. And I'm going to give you those. I'm going to pull it on bullet point here. It says you do have to earn your place. That is 100% accurate, right? Experience matters. You coming on as a green, I mean, even if you do have experience, it does matter. You may not be the best. It's a fine balance. It is so weird unless you're a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a part of it, you understand what we're saying. But experience will get you a long way. I'm not gonna lie. It'll get you out of a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
I will be the first to tell you that. And then thirdly that they've got here is this trade isn't handed to you. I mean, golly, it's not.
You have to earn it.
You have to earn it. I mean, they're not gonna just give you the tools and there you go, thanks, appreciate it. No, you're gonna learn. If you want to learn, they're going to put you through the paces. And it's still a little different than what we do. And it's our environment, not environment. When I say environment, I mean what we handle changes every day.
Yes.
And it has really increased the percentage of what we have to relearn or something's changed daily. Every time you turn around and you look, your email's changed and you're like, crap. Well, why don't we change that? I'll say it. I don't care. I got an email Thursday when I left my office. Was, this changed for a specific site. I'm like, we had it approved 2 months ago that it was right. So, and then it wasn't them that changed it. It was the procedure policy for who controls it, which is where I'll leave it there because it's an active contract. I won't speak on it.
Good job.
I know I did well.
Yeah.
What was it?
Younger workers are right about some things too.
There you go. So you cover them.
So respect should go both ways. That is very true. But respect has to be earned both ways as well. Safety should never be ignored. Obviously, we should not ignore safety. At the same time, don't use us to your advantage. Don't blame things on, well, it's not safe enough when you know good and well it is, and they're doing everything right. If you've got a question, stop work, let's address it, and then let's get back to work. Let's fix it. You're not always going to be right. Even if you stop work, you're not always going to be right. That's not us ignoring safety. That's us teaching you the right way to do things. And blind loyalty to how it's always been done doesn't always make sense.
Like that.
That is true. Just because things have always been done this way, this day and time, we can't. I mean, the rules are there for a reason. I don't agree with all of them, but they're all there for a reason. They're written in blood. Somebody somewhere did something wrong that caused that rule to go into effect.
Yeah.
So just because it's always been done this way doesn't mean that it can continue to be done this way, because we do put a little bit of a higher value on life.
And that is 100% accurate. Here on the Hard Truth Podcast, Janet and I are about reality. Mm-hmm. So I'm real quick. I'm the first one to come out there and tell you, the book may say this, and I'm like, that ain't gonna work. You can't. Well, you said it earlier. You can't create a hazard to stop a hazard.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes it does that, and you're like, no, can't do that. And we are the ones real quick to say we don't agree with the book. We don't agree with a lot of stuff. And I guess that's why we do work so well with supervision and people in the field is they know we're coming out to look at it in a legitimate fashion to say, hey, this is not right. This is wrong. Not this is what the book says.
Yeah. And we're not going to come out there and say, you can't do it like that.
Oh, my God.
But figure it out.
No.
We're going to help you come to a solution to what the problem is.
We're going to find the best solution to it that we can.
That works for everyone.
Not just the book says it. Not for us. We don't do any of that for our benefit. I could care. I'm not out there doing it.
No.
I'm just out there to help them.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you're in this entitlement phase, and I think at some point I do at any, whether you're starting out, whether you've been in the trades for a little bit or you're a senior guy, you at some point reach some kind of entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all get there. I kind of felt it a little bit earlier in the year because I've always had her, with me to do some, hey, handle that. Or, I work for her. So it was easy to put the big stuff with her, and I just handle all the pocket change for her. So, but I've had to face adversity all through this year, and not in a negative. Don't take it that way.
He's learning.
It was, she's not here, and she's always been about the focus for me for 4 years has been you need to learn this or struggle through it because what if I'm not there to do it? Right?
Train your replacement.
Train your replacement. So, and believe it or not, it's worked out.
Yes, it's helped us tremendously.
So not even from my standpoint, from her standpoint, you don't really think that it will. You don't think you'll ever have to do that. Mm-hmm. But let me tell you something. We've been working on it for 4 years. And in the 4th year, she's on location and I'm taking care of the main office and everything surrounding it. So she will tell you, if you have that opportunity as a supervisor, as a manager, you've got somebody that how much you got to trust them, but that you trust to run the department or whatever needs to be done, that they have the skills, they have the fortitude to do it, and they are not entitled. They have the accountability factor of it has to be done because it has to be done, and you got to know that they're going to do it the right way.
Yeah.
That's a lot of trust. I think there's a tremendous amount of people out there that want to be successful. I think that there's a lot of supervisors out there that have people like they look at them, right? I mean, we hear it all the time. You know, I really like that guy, or we'll make suggestions because they ask.
Yes.
What are you seeing about this person? Oh man, I think he's gonna be something. I think he's gonna be something. You know, how are we taking that to that guy to say, hey, I appreciate what you're doing, but how do you feel about this? Do you think that line gets out there more?
I don't.
Yeah,
at times.
Yeah.
Well, like today, you know, we were on this site and I was looking over a JSA with people and I was like, wow, like this is phenomenal. Great job. Y'all did awesome on this. And they were very excited about that because their supervisor wasn't there. They were just getting everything ready before we got there. And they were getting, you know, a high five from the safety department. That's a huge deal for them. So I know it happens. We've had people on this site that we've worked on well throughout the company that they get praised on a regular basis because they are go-getters. They're in there doing anything you ask them to do and learning. They want to learn. They want to know how to do their supervisor's job. They want to know how to read the blueprints. They want to know, you know, all the paperwork, you know, everything. We've got those people out there. They do get praised. And it doesn't always directly at them. They get praised up too.
We try to recognize the good.
Yes.
I try to promote good more than anything. You have to talk about the negative, but I'll be honest, it takes all I got some days to even bring it up.
Yeah.
Like, good Lord, they get beat enough as it is. And you're like, well, you didn't have, you know, so you have to weigh it. So we look at it as, is it worth, did they have more good on the scale today than they had negative?
Yeah.
And if they've got more good, we're talking about the good all day long.
Yes.
I mean, now if it's got to be a corrected, you know, measure, but you know, if it's something like that, then obviously we're going to talk about it.
But even if we correct them, the way that we go about correcting them, sometimes they may walk away like, wait, did I just get in trouble?
I just got chewed out.
Like, and I don't realize it until they walk away because of the way that we approach them.
Yeah.
It's all about the presentation, and that draws them in. They listen and they take what we're saying to heart.
I agree. You got anything else you want to add?
I just want to reiterate that it's not. I know I said it at the beginning. It's not all of the younger generation. We've got some that are just phenomenal. Just like not all of the older generation is great. There's some that are just not that great. We've got an even mix of all, but the entitlement that you see, that's the part that we need to recognize it. It goes back to the whole purpose of accountability. You have to hold yourself accountable. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Wow. So you've got to make the change. So you got to recognize that there's a problem and make the change. And there's plenty of us in management and supervision and your fellow coworkers that would be willing to help you with that. Just give you some direction on that. But you have to recognize it. So once you take a deep look at yourself, I do it constantly. I'm my own worst critic, looking at what I'm doing wrong that I could get better at. And I work on those things. Everybody needs to just take a look at yourself and see what you need to get better at.
I would agree with that. It's hard, and I'm the roughest on myself. I'm always worried about failure. But the truth is, you can't succeed without failure because you can't learn if you always succeed. So I know that's kind of a double-edged sword, but because you really want to succeed, but you don't want to fail. But you know, when I say failure, it's really a strong term. But when you take a step back, we'll say, you know, you have to be willing to learn from it. If you don't learn anything from it, what was the point? So, you know, if you get into situations and you don't know something, that's why the whole thing is important about, even on the job site for the smallest thing. Even if your supervisor told you 3 times, hey, I want that yellow wrench out of the toolbox, and you walk over there and there's a yellow and a blue one, and you say to yourself, did he say yellow or blue? What should you do? You're probably going to have to take it, but walk back over there and say, hey, I got over there, got distracted. Did you want the yellow or the blue?
Yes.
You know, get that clarification. Don't just assume, right? Because there's no sense in bringing a blue one and the yellow one if you just wanted the yellow one. Because guess what you're fixing to do with the blue one? You're either fixing to sit it down, or you're going to put it in your pocket or whatever, or your tool belt. You're probably going to lose it. And then tomorrow he's going to ask for the blue one. And guess what? The blue one's not.
where it needs to be.
Right. So if you'd have just listened, like we all should, the first handful of times, or been willing to ask the question again for clarification, you could have made that difference. Like I said, that goes all the way back to this. That goes back to the entitlement and the accountability that we always talk about. Don't be that entitled. Earn it, because when you earn it, they can't take it away. I will say that I took the hard road to earn everything with her, and I get a lot of freedoms with that now. But she knows that the job's going to be done. She has zero concern that the job's going to be done. Hell of hot water, whatever it takes. She didn't just give me that from the jump. That's been earned, like I said, that's been earned over 4 years. Mm-hmm. So don't think you can't do it. Everybody has the potential to do it. Certain roles may not fit what you want to do, but find what you fit in. I know guys that helped out with, we got a lady right now, normally works on insulator crews. She's taking the time to help with electrical just to spot. She doesn't even work for them, but she's wanting to learn how to thread pipe and make bends and conduit. She's jumping right in there because she wants to develop. She wants to know certain things and be able to help out where she can. And it's gotten her a long way. Yeah. And she's really good at what she does. Outside of fire watching and insulating, apparently she's doing electrical now. Soon she's going to be running the job. Apparently, I don't know. But she has that mentality. She has that mentality, and every supervisor that ever has her sees it, and they know it. So I know the show wasn't as long today, but Janet and I, like I said, we're making this work. Unfortunately, it has held on as long as it has today.
Yeah.
But we will pick back up on normal rotation. We still have one more episode to do this month. This will not be posted immediately, so don't expect it out. I may work on it tonight, but more than likely it'll be done when I get back home tomorrow evening. So I hope everybody enjoyed this episode and get to see Janet and I face to face whenever she does get back after being done with the job that she's on now. And things are going to be a lot different. We're going to have a full setup. It's going to be great. I can't stop talking about it. But
you really can't.
I know. Be looking for some pictures and stuff on our social media. We will have the new shirt design posted. We'll let you know when it is available for order if you want to order it, which will help the show out. All proceeds go back into the show. That's simple. We're not taking a dime of it personally. Everything goes back into the show. For equipment or merchandise, being in construction, everybody loves two things: hats and shirts.
Yes.
Guaranteed. So
swag.
That's what they want. Hard hat stickers, which I found that out.
Yes.
That's all that goes into that. And tell your coworkers, your friends, your family, get on our social media, look for it. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok is our big platform that we use a lot. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. I think that's it. But be on the lookout for it and be ready for this episode to drop. Janet, want to take them out?
Thank you guys for joining, and we're happy we were able to do this for you guys.
See y'all.